Hey, good afternoon. Actually, good evening. It's almost close to 7 p.m. on a Tuesday evening. And I'm caught in my garage while I was performing some tasks. I've been getting some questions about a particular topic. Actually, this question had come about as a concern of mine for the last few months because I had been representing a few buyers, and it seems like not just this past few months, but this last few years, or actually since I started real estate 17 years ago, uh, the question about commission keeps coming up. Okay, so commission, who gets paid, how do they get paid, real quick. Okay, I'm trying to keep this down to about 5 minutes because some of these topics they get pretty lengthy, and it's just something that you cannot cover in 10 minutes. So let's go straight to the point. How do agents get paid? Let's deal with the buyer, because we all know how the homeowner deals with commissions. There's a lot of folks out there that are hesitant or are intimidated into looking into houses, or even understanding how the process works, or even at the most hiring an agent, because actually they want to keep their expenses to a minimal cost, and the last thing in their mind is probably, oh shoot, man, how do I address the issue? How do I pay the agent, or how much do I pay? Before January 2024 of this year in the state of Washington, and I am a member of the MLS on the western half of Washington. So if you're getting transition and PCS into the Pacific Northwest, you will be under my jurisdiction, under my area of responsibility. Okay? So prior to January 2024, you actually don't pay as a buyer your buyer's agent, because everybody in the United States, unless there is a specific contractual agreement, the homeowner pays for the agent that they're hiring to get their home sold, and the agent that's representing the buyer that's going to buy their home. Easy, right? But then again, come January 2024, okay? You probably seen it in the news, heard it from someone, or saw it on the internet saying that buyer's agents now have a very limited option in how they are going to be represented by buyer's agents because of the commission. Let's start with Washington. Let's start with where I am, where I work for, the MLS that I work for. So if you are going to the western half of Washington State, which covers Seattle and the Puget Sound, you're in this category, right? If you are a buyer and a buyer's agent is representing you, there are two ways they get paid. They get paid still by the homeowner, depending on the contractual agreement that the homeowner specified when they get their home listed. Let's say, I'll pay your buyer's agent 3%, 2.5%, 4%, whatever, right? You're good. You can accept it or not. Now, the difference lies in the way the buyer's agent is going to interpret that. If the default value is 3%, everybody's happy. It could be more. I'd be more than happy. Now, if it's less, the buyer's agent can negotiate to the buyer to pay for the difference. For example, the homeowner that is creating the contract says the buyer's agent can only get 2%. All right? So the buyer's agent can now come to you. Now, remember that I'm highlighting those words. Can come to you and ask you to cover the difference of 3%. Meaning that if we ask for 3%, the buyer will have to cover for that 1%. Or if the owner is only willing to pay 2.5%, the buyer's agent can come in to say, hey, you know what? Let's deal with the 0.5%. Can you help me out here, brother? All right? Or he could probably doesn't need you to take care of the balance. He could just be satisfied with what the owner is giving him. For most of the situation, that is the case. Okay? 2 months ago, I represented a developer wherein I was happy with 2%. Okay? Now I'm representing a buyer wherein the place that we found was willing to give me 3%. I'm happy, right? So technically speaking, from both contracts that I just performed, the buyer didn't have to give me anything because I was satisfied with the services that I was getting, right? So food for thought, don't irritate your buyers. No, I'm just kidding. These mathematical formulas, the pluses and the minuses are all dealt with before you guys look for a home. Now, there are only 2 out of the 534 MLSs across the nation that is capable of doing this, and one of them is the state of Washington, right? So I just told you what the process is involved in our MLS. The other MLS, the other 534, right? They are stuck with the contract that the homeowner created for the buyer's agent, not us. But you're still in control, all right? So if you guys have any questions on this matter, feel free, ask me anything, questions, issues, concerns. To the men and women out there that are forward deployed, that are not home, that are currently doing their job, performing their tasks, and away from their family, I love you. We all love you. There's a reason why we retired folks in the community are retired, because you guys are still doing your jobs. So come on home. We all love you. And God bless. Godspeed. Post. Enjoy the evening.